Right, hello there, welcome back. Hope we're having a great day and we're all doing well. So a lot of you have been seeing my videos of me playing Monty this season. He's my most played attacker. The P9 pistol is my most used weapon and my highest kill rate weapon. And I would like to say, without sounding like I've got a big ego, that I'm a very good Monty player, and I think that shows in the way I play. And a lot of that is thanks to the shield changes which came in the current season I'm recording this, Operation Deadly Omen. And a lot of you have been asking, how do I get better at Monty? I've been really enjoying your clips, I've tried it myself, I've been kind of getting slammed. So I thought I'd put together this video as a guide on how to play Monty in 2024. I'm going to teach you everything I know about being a high skilled ranked Monty player, and hopefully just give you that little edge into being a better player, because once you get really good with Monty and have a team coordinate with you, you are going to dominate the ranked scene. So as always, if you do enjoy this video, be sure to drop it a like, subscribe if you're new, and drop a comment. It really helps with the algorithm and getting this video out there to more players. Also, I have new merch if you want to check that out. It looks absolutely sick. And let's get into this video. Now, I need to begin with some facts about me as a player, and the biggest part about that is that I play Rainbow Six Siege on PC. I play PC a majority of the time. I've been playing PC this whole season. However, I do still occasionally play console with a controller, and when I did play console consistently, I was a high ranked Diamond and Champion, and I've given Monty a try this season on console, and a lot of this will still work for you console players. However, I do have to state the obvious, is that me on PC using a mouse and keyboard can aim a lot easier than you can on a controller. Now, if you're good with a controller, this is going to benefit you, since enemies who aren't as good are going to struggle to hit your head, which gives you as a Monty who's exposing yourself a bit of an advantage. And another thing a lot of people talk about when they see my Monty clips is the trigger finger and the rate of fire. I get a lot of comments, no, I don't use a macro. That is cheating. I'm against every form of cheating in video games. You know, like GTA 5 and stuff like that. If you're cheating that, I don't really care, because that game's kind of just for fun. When you're cheating that and fly about, who cares? But in like a competitive shooter like Rainbow Six Siege, I have a zero tolerance on that. So as much as I will accept the compliment, I don't use a macro. I've just always had a fast trigger finger in my life when I've played a bunch of games. For those who care, I use a WL mouse with a polling rate of 4000 hertz. Don't really think that has any effect on it. I've always been good even with a controller with a trigger finger, but I felt for transparency, I know people will probably wonder what peripheral I use that. So naturally, a good trigger finger and good aim is something which is going to exist outside of Monty. But let's get into the specifics of Monty, and let's look at his loadout. Now, of course, his loadout isn't insanely in-depth like a lot of people. You do have to bring the primary shield as the primary weapon. You know, it is the big part of Monty himself. But there is a lot of mistakes you can make with the secondary, and I simply just recommending never take the revolver, ever. It may have a higher damage than the P9, but the lack of recoil on the P9, the fire rate you can get with it with a good trigger finger, just automatically makes it so much better than the revolver. The revolver you can use, but it's got a little bit of a kickback, and even with good aim, you're just not going to pull off the same plays that you can with the P9. If you enjoy using it, go ahead, but if you want to be a good Monty player, drop the revolver and take the P9. Secondly, put a suppressor on the P9 and run a laser sight. Now, the reason why we run a laser sight is because I got a change in Operation Deadly Omen. It has no effect on hip fire spread anymore. Doesn't really matter. Shields cannot hit fire with the shield up anyway, but it makes you have a faster ADS speed. That is something that Monty does benefit from with this P9 pistol. And the second part here is the suppressor. I see a lot of people saying, why do you run a suppressor on Monty? It's not like you're very stealthy with a loud ass shield. And you're not wrong. The first reason, I like how the suppressor sounds. That's genuinely it. However, there's also a lot of benefit. You don't see the lines on the screen when you're getting shot at, so you don't know which direction the suppressed bullets are coming from. So when you're shooting default cameras and you're fighting an enemy, it just gives you a little edge. There's no reason not to bring a suppressor, since they removed the damage drop off, which they used to do. And even though he isn't as stealthy as other operators, I still think you benefit from bringing a suppressor. You're better having it than not having it. And his secondary gadget is interesting because you can never technically bring a wrong secondary gadget. All of them have their strength, and it all depends on the situation in hand. That being said, side, in Monty's current state, I always recommend bringing the EMP impact grenades. That is because with the shield update, they also made throwable gadgets deploy a lot more safer when you're using a shield operator. And especially with operators such as Fenrir being very popular, or Melusi now ever since she got the ACOG, that means I can easily just EMP those gadgets and then walk through a doorway, or full sprint with my shield up. There is one major counter to Monty which I'm going to get to in a minute, and it's not Oryx, because Oryx is just not good at countering shield. He can get easily out meleeed, which is crazy. But bringing EMP impacts, like I said, Fenrir, Melusi, Capcan traps as well. If there's a camera watching you, you can throw it. If there's a girl's mine on the doorway, you just EMP it, you can walk through. Same with a thorn trap. And especially when I'm playing against people and they've noticed a trend on me playing Monty, they're like, okay, we'll try and counter this Monty, and they bring a Clash. And it's actually really easy for me to then counter them, because I just throw an EMP impact at Clash. She can't use her zapping ability, and I can just get up close and personal and go for a melee on one of her exposed sides. And especially when I'm mixing this with a player beside me, easily taking that Clash out. I'll show a little clip. I was playing with the kill and I'd done this exact thing on a Clash. She tried to like turtle trick me, I think, and I was just like, I'm not having any of this. Bonk. So of course you're gonna get a lot of use out of bringing like smoke grenades or the heartbeat charge, but definitely the EMP impacts just are the best right now in Monty's current situation, in my opinion. Right, this next tip is actually quite funny, and it falls on from what I was saying there about all the traps that Monty could counter, because there's a major trap on defense he can counter, and that is Legion's goo mines. Now, of course, knowing my luck, as I made this video, the patch notes came out and Lesion did receive a nerf. He's losing impact grenades and getting observation blocker instead. His goo mines will take longer to replenish and now do 3 damage hits instead of 5. Despite all this, he is still a powerhouse of a defender and is the best counter to Monty, in my opinion. And on the topic of the latest patch notes, I should also mention impact grenades are getting a damage nerf, which is a buff to shield operators, because that means you can no longer 2-hit kill them with impact grenades if you directly hit their exposed body. So keep that in mind as well. But now, since, you know, Lesion is just always on the board and goo mines are easy to hide, and you can place them beside doorways, and if you walk in the middle, it'll still catch you because their area of effect is scuffed. I don't know why they've done that to Lesion. That's another rant video. But he is probably the best counter to Monty. Like I was saying with Oryx, he is class to the shield counter, but he's just not very good at it. So banning Lesion when you're playing Monty is a very good idea, because it just gives you so much less to worry about. When you step on a goo mine, you then have to drop your shield and then put your gun away as well to then pull the goo mine out. It's very annoying. It does damage to you. It's the biggest hindrance to a Monty player. Use that banning phase to your advantage. So many people now have just gotten in the habit of banning the exact same operators and don't really think about it. They'll ban Fenrir. I understand Fenrir is very annoying. I agree with you. But they'll ban Fenrir and they'll ban Jackal on attack, but they're not really thinking about these bans. They're just doing it. They're banning Kaze, which is a good ban, don't get me wrong, but think about the situation you're going into, especially if you're playing Monty and you know you're going to play Monty. Ban Lesion. Genuinely, a majority of the time my push has been stopped or at least slowed down is because of a goo mine. Thorn traps don't bother me. Nitro cells don't bother me. All these other traps I'm fine with, but goo mines, that's an absolute bane of my existence. So if you want to start getting better with Monty, ban Lesion. Right, let's talk about movement when it comes to Monty. I think Monty is the best shield operator purely because he can full extend and then drop his shield if he needs to sprint. And of course, all shield ops now sprint like Blitz used to, with the shield up, facing forward, and none of their body exposed. So that's when you have to start getting into this rhythm as Monty. Watch the gameplay clips I'm doing, and you'll notice that when I'm approaching someone, I'm pressuring them. I'm full extending, dropping my shield, rushing them, full extending, vice versa, and then eventually hitting them on their back. Now, I have a good trigger finger, I have good aim. You can go for the double melee. I like to knock them back and then headshot them, basically. If you're not as good, and if you're on console, admittedly, I recommend going for the double melee. They actually buffed it since the season came out, so every hit melee is a 2-hit on every operator, if I'm not wrong, so definitely do that. And I was also talking about the whole full extend thing, but if you're also crouching with your normal shield, so you're not fully extended, it covers your feet now as well. They've updated the animation, so you have less parts of your body exposed. So you're also going to benefit from protection when you're crouched as well. I especially like to do that when I get up close and personal, because if you're full extending, yeah, you have more protection, but you then can't melee them. If I'm crouched, I can still melee. So it's sort of good to keep full extend at range, and then the closer you get, drop it, bash, whilst also crouching, and then take them out. Now, I was talking earlier in this video about counters. I was talking about a lot of gadgets, but something a lot of people seem to not realize is that shields have a new counter mechanic. If you shoot the physical shield on Monty, Blitz, and Fuse, use, they'll start to get an effect known as suppression. This basically means that they can't run and they can't melee, and they just really struggle to take you out. Now, this is an effect which has to be topped up, meaning if you stop shooting the shield up, it will wear off, but the more you shoot them, it will keep topping up this effect. So if there is a blitz running at you, if there's a fuse shield or a Monty running at you, shoot their shield. If you can get shots on their feet, do it, but mainly focus on the shield itself. It's got a big hitbox, you won't be doing any damage to them, but you're going to be stopping them. You're really going to be, you know, slowing them down. This suppression effect is really good, and when I'm playing against someone who actually knows how to counter a shield, it really does affect me. I do struggle, I do pull back a little bit and reassess the situation. So many people this season think that shields are unkillable. That's not true at all. You're just pretty bad at countering them. Something I haven't noted in this video yet as well is the fact that they can just full jump through or break through barricades which haven't had any hits in them. I do think that is very good. You just have to watch that there isn't anyone on the side because you're locked in a little animation. I recommend, if you're playing smart, just bashing the barricade 3 times as normal. But I'm now about to break down some clips which will show how I use this barricade bash mechanic effectively, and I'm also just going to show you how I use Monty across the board very effectively in a team. And this bit here is probably my favorite part of this video because you're getting a really good insight into how I play Monty. Last round, I'm not wrong, before this round, I rushed trophy window and managed to win. So Smoke, as you can see, is playing in trophy, standing right beside the window, which is quite an interesting play. But you also notice, if it rewinds a tiny bit, not that far. All right, we'll let it play a little bit. But you'll see, when I look up, there's holes in solar. So that means anyone playing up in solar can look down at the window, which will obviously kill me if I jump in. And it's quite a dangerous gunfight to take, obviously, for Monty. But I'm like, Smoke is there. Start to, you know, try and get control. I don't jump through the window because I know there's holes there and Smoke could be either side. And of course, that shotgun does have a high chance of beating me if it hits one of my exposed parts of the body. So I'm taking it a bit slow, sort of assessing the situation, relaying information to my team. I see that the hatch is open, implying that Smoke may have dropped down the hatch, and you can sort of get an angle below there. So I'm processing all this information, I'm relaying it to my team, and I'm like, okay, Smoke is probably down here. So I knew Smoke was up there, I knew they're trying to hold trophy. He then gets scared from me droning and punching the window, and I see the hatch is open. So I'm like, okay, he's most likely down here. So I start to get a bit aggro, see Smoke there, go for the ADS, take him out with an easy headshot. Of course, reloading behind the shield with protection. So now I know that trophy is probably not as strong as before. I like to play aggro with Monty. I don't want to make a mistake and accidentally give the defenders diffuser control. So I drop diffuser, allow my teammate to continue droning trophy. We then learn that someone is up by Owl. You can make some holes up there just around that corner. So someone is up by Owl, try to shoot the drone. So I jump in, full extend just so I can understand what's happening. I notice there is some holes in Owl, and you can also see a dread mine on the top of the staircase as well. So now I'm relaying information that there is someone in Owl, which is obviously going to be another hindrance to our push on solar. So I'm relaying that information. Diffuser gets left outside, a bit of miscommunication by my team. I wanted my Nomad to take it. Teammate gets injured, so I'm like, right, I'll go back for diffuser now that we at least have trophy control, that's fine. And I'm gonna focus on West Main and see what's going on here. So now I see that there is holes in bathroom. So you can see that little blue bit there, that is Owl. So there's holes in Owl, holes in bathroom. And again, I'm using this for intel. I can see people if they're in there. And as a Monty, you know, you can peek these angles since the top of your head is covered, but there's a chance you can be exposed as well, so you have to just be aware about that. So we know that someone is top Owl. I actually am going to go for a push here. I was planning to go for a push here, hence why I threw an EMP to disable the Fenrir dread mine. However, the guy on Owl starts to peek me, and I was in quite a bad position. Maybe not the smartest play, I won't lie. I could have just went up trophy and done my push as normal. I got a bit aggressive, but it worked here. I actually decide to ADS and go for a gunfight, which, you know, he has the high ground, not a Star Wars reference, a genuine advantage, and I have a pistol, so I should be at a massive disadvantage here, but I do click the head onto Fenrir. I believe this guy actually complains in game chat if I'm not wrong, but there you go. Turns out there was a Gersmont mine there as well, which I didn't even know, so that EMP took out the Gersmont mine and the Dread mine. I managed to get a kill, and of course they will eventually come back online, so just so they don't affect us in any way, shape, or form, I clear both of them. So now that we're sort of making our way up the staircase, we're still sort of keeping it slow. Blackbeard on the rappel, Ace breaching this wall, which I should use, or I actually go through the doorway, but this is really good in a post plant and Nomad taking control of bathroom. So as you can see, Ace is fully breaching this wall, Nomad taking bathroom control. I have diffuser in pocket. I'm running in and I'm going to plant in that corner, you know, facing that way so my shield protects my back. Anyone in solar can watch that diffuser once it's down. Blackbeard's still holding the hallway angle. Ella does take out our Nomad, I believe in piano, but Ace still has control of solar. And if Ella wants to push bathroom or master bedroom, there's a Blackbeard to deal with on the window. So I run in, got my little plant corner, but Blackbeard takes out the Ella before she could even make her way to this rotate, bathroom, or anything. So that was a really good example of Monty assisting the team and the team coming together with that push. So I'm going to look at this one on Villa. Now, as you can see at the start, I'm on my drone. I have a drone pre-placed in Astro. Typically, when I'm attacking study side on Villa, I always like to push the other side of the map. And if the defenders are defending trophy, I like to push study. I don't like doing a direct push on Villa, especially on study side. I think if you're pushing the balcony, you're just limiting your chances of winning. That balcony is a death sentence if you're playing against any good player. So I have a cam pre-placed in Astro, so I can assist my team pushing over this side. So as you can see, before I jump in the window, I go in the cam, I see that Jaeger has just pushed up Astro stairs. And with the recently changed shield mechanics, I can use that jumping through a barricade to my advantage. So I know that Jaeger right now was top Astro, and I saw him run into bathroom. That means, okay, I can quickly get off camera. Now, something I want to know that I do there, I drop diffuser. I know that in this situation, I will most likely have an advantage. Jaeger doesn't know I'm coming, I have a shield and everything, it's most likely that I'm going to win. However, I don't want to give the diffuser to Jaeger in the worst case scenario. My teammate is Ace, he's right there. That's a good operator to have diffuser as well as Monty. So my mindset here is, look, I can't wait for my team to rotate to pinch this Jaeger. There's not enough time here. I have to take this Jaeger out whilst I still can. I drop diffuser for Ace, go up to the barricade, jump in, catch Jaeger off guard, bash him, take him out before he even has a chance to do anything. Now, this, again, is also before they've recently changed it, so the melee hits actually hurt more now than they do in this clip, which is kind of crazy. And of course, with the impact grenade changes coming in effect in the next patch, they're going to do less damage as well. So you can see I just jump in, bash him, boom, trigger finger, straight to the head. That is Jaeger gone, which is... You know, you can see in that clip, you can even see my face. I am like, that is a violation, I think is the word I use there, which it truly is. And I keep pushing along to top red. I can't remember if we have 90 control here, but I just push in Skull Door because I think we knew that Study and Aviator were clear and we have a man advantage. So that's when I start to get up close and personal with Azami, run up to her, bash her, put her on her back, then go for the shot. But you can actually see in the bottom right, I got hit rejected, which is an issue for a lot of people this season. I shoot her in the head, got hit rejected. You know, those shots missed, but the hit rejection confirms that my bullets did hit her head. It simply just didn't count. But I, you know, recover from it on the final few bullets I have. You can see my shock there. So I do finally get her, and like Raz is in my ear and he's like, oh, you almost threw that one, which is true, I almost did, but that wouldn't have been my fault. You can see taking out a Goo Mine, probably the biggest counter to Monty right now. I like this next bit as well because there's a Melusi Banshee in the hallway. Now, I believe I get the call that the final guy is in 90. So yeah, I can just run through this Melusi Banshee, especially when I know one's in 90. No one's going to shoot me in the back. But what you'll see I'll do is like I sort of tease it a little bit, and I'm like, you know what, I've got an EMP, I just throw it at the Banshee, and not a lot of me is exposed. So I throw it at the Banshee, disable the Banshee, allows me to full sprint on the Melusi. I go for the ADS since my teammates are contesting her, so her back is exposed to me. I don't know if I actually get the injure, my teammate gets a kill, or he just got the kill, but she would have been dead either way, whether that was me or my teammate. But I think that's a really good clip just to show a lot of the stuff that Monty can do, and sort of like my thought process going forward with it. I'll show off this one as well. This is when we're going for a sort of rush plant on the wall by Snowmobile. Obviously, I don't know if you want to call it a rush plant since we are taking map control, so technically it's not a rush plant, it's just a plant execute. But we have like a ram upstairs to do the vertical to just, you know, put them off. You all know what it's like when there's a ram above you. But I'm taking my time. I'm waiting. I'm making sure we have stuff in place before I go for a plant. I'm sort of teasing the breach. I'm walking in, making sound, trying to get people to react to me to then expose themselves. If someone's in the closet, if someone's maybe in blue or on fireplace, I don't think there was, but I am sort of just, you know, teasing them. Come on and peek me, you know you want to. But my team continued to get control upstairs. My teammate smokes off connector door, so I'm like, right, I'm going to go for a plan. Now, I run in and I'm facing forward. That is because when you go for a plant, the shield then goes on your back and it protects you whilst you're plant. Just a note as well, those green bins in that corner, they're not bulletproof. You can shoot through them and hit people, but it's good to cover you visually. But a lot of people know you're going to play here. So the shield on your back is very important, and I just stick the plant, and the moment I get the plant down, I'm going to go for a full extend, giving info that there's one in blue door. He gets injured. Ram is starting to apply more pressure, especially if they go for like a late round rotation, and you know, easy days, we get that diffuser down. So that is my Monty guide for 2024 Operation Deadly Omen. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy, dislike it if you did not. Subscribe if you're new. I shall catch you all later. I love you all. Stay safe. Peace.